Go to the cloud. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining. All right, let me just run through some quick slides. These tend to be, I've done one. This is number 2. Relatively brief. I'll probably stop every couple slides, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I sent it over. I'm just going to go through some of the key aspects of it. I'll stop every couple of minutes and just make sure we're all on the same page. So the event is on Sunday. That's a good start. I did change the format of this event, and I'll probably do the same on the June 20th event. Originally, it had been timed. How far can you go in a set time? I expect that I will definitely change that for the June 20th event. So I moved it to 1.5 miles on the first run, 17.5 miles on the bike, and 3.5 miles on the second run. Please make note of the distances. Make sure you do the distances. We did have a DQ last week for somebody who ran 4 miles rather than 4.2. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but so be it. So just make note of those distances, please. And just note that your files, the files that you submit to us to quote unquote prove your effort should be those distances. And obviously if they're short, we're gonna DQ. If they're long, you're gonna get the time of the file that's sent. So the bike is no problem at all because Zwift takes care of that. But the runs, if you do a warm up and then time trial 1.5 miles and save that as a singular file, you're going to get the time of the warm up and the 1.5 miles. I'm not going to parse through and figure that out for you. Okay, so I recommend that every run start with your watch at 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. That's pretty simple and straightforward. There's a welcome, that's great. So how does it work? First of all, the requirements, you need to have a GPS device for the runs, uploadable to Strava and or Garmin Connect. You need to have a Zwift account. You have to have your time trial bike enabled, okay? There is a video, there's a link to a video within this presentation on how to select a time trial bike, but you have to have a time trial bike. And the reason for that, and this, I'm sorry, because there was confusion on the first week initially. You, the human, you do not need to be on a time trial bike. You can be on a kid's BMX bike for all I care, okay? But your little Zwift persona must be on a time trial bike. And what that does is it turns off the drafting effect. So when you're on a time trial bike, nobody drafts. And so we have our own built-in marshals, okay? Okay, oh, I have to keep going to that. You will need, and it seems like everybody is doing a good job, the Zwift Companion app, because I am inviting everybody through the Zwift Companion app and everybody's accepting. So that seems to be going well. You'll need a smart trainer or a dumb trainer with a bike-based power meter. And I think just the fact that everybody's on Zwift so far probably means that we're in a good spot with regards to that. And then please make sure that your most current actual body weight is in the Zwift game. So, if you were all primed up when you originally created a Zwift account and now you are like 10 pounds heavier, let's make your Zwift rate reflect that, okay? It's actually not going to make a tremendous difference in this week's race because this week's race is pancake flat. Last week's race was quite hilly. This week's race is pancake flat. But just as a good rule of thumb in these racing games, no weight doping, okay? And then if you're on a smart trainer and or a power meter, which you have to be obviously, just make sure you're calibrated properly prior to the race, okay? So that on a, say for example, on a Wahoo kicker, that is a spin down. Okay, it is a very simple process. A simple Google search of Wahoo kicker spin down will teach you how to do that. It is really easy. And on a power meter, just a bike-based power meter, generally speaking, before you ever ride, anytime that you ride on a bike-based power meter, you should probably just be calibrating anyway. That's proper use of a power meter. Okay, and so that's that. We have in here a race day checklist. So let's see. You want to make sure that your Zwift account is connected to Strava and or Garmin Connect. It makes life much easier. You have accepted my Zwift meetup, which everybody has. That's good. You have chosen a TT bike for your in-game avatar. Make sure you have done that. So the run one, I guess I can just shoot right through. Actually, run one starts no sooner than 8 a.m. Eastern. Okay, 1.5 miles. You can warm up before that, but you can't start your time trial before 8 a.m. Eastern. And I check. Okay, so between the finish of the race and results, submissions are due by 3 p.m. I got nothing to do, so I just go into the results that come through, and I click and I see what the timestamp is on your run. And if it starts before 8, well, that's a false start. I'm going to deke you. Okay. We're going to create a race-like atmosphere here. So that's that. So the run can start anytime after 8 a.m. Eastern. Okay. But obviously it has to be done before the bike meetup. Okay. So if you want to run at 8:45, that's your life. Okay. Run at 8:45. But if you want to run at 8, you can run at 8. Okay. You just have to be at the bike meetup at 9:15, because the bike meetup starts, and if you're not there, you're just not there. We actually had a girl miss the bike meetup last week. Okay. Make sure after run one, you save the run on your device. Okay. For a later upload. And then I would make sure that you log into Zwift and start warming up no later than 9:10. Okay, and that will give you time to make sure that everything is squared away. And you'll get a little thing on your screen that says join Tim Snow's bike meetup, and you can either accept that to go, or it will create a countdown timer and just bring you there automatically. Okay. Let's see. Upon completion of the bike, save the bike in Zwift and or on your device, and start your second run within 10 minutes of completing the bike. That's another thing I check. So I take the 9:15. Remember, I got nothing to do. So 9:15 bike start. Okay, that's a hard start. I know what your bike split is. I add your bike split to 9:15. I add 10, and then I look at the run start of run number 2, and it needs to be less than the 9:15 plus bike split plus 10. Okay, so I actually looked at those. So, and the point of that is to make sure you are doing a transition run. I don't want somebody doing a hard bike effort, getting in the Norm-Tex for a couple hours, and then going out and banging out a TT run. Okay. Save your run number 2 on your device, and then you are not done. Just because you finish it does not mean you're done. You're not done until you submit your results. Okay, and you will get the results form in an email, on the Facebook page, and on the website. Okay, so you will get it in 3 different places, so there'll be no excuses. I actually had no problem with people submitting forms last week. Okay, but you'll get it in 3 different ways. I'll probably set the email to go out at about 10 a.m. during the race, and the form needs to be submitted once. Okay, and so I don't want to get the form of submission of run number 1 only, because there's time before the bike meetup, and then get the bike and run number 2 later. I just want it once. Okay, and so the email goes out while you're racing. When you're finished racing, submit your results. It's a very simple form. It works really nicely on the phone, and then you just have to have those to me by 3 p.m. Eastern on race day. And and at 3 p.m. I close the form, so it won't take any more submissions, and I start compiling results in Excel. So what does it look like? 8 a.m. Eastern, after 8 a.m. Eastern, you run 1.5 miles, kind of the, and then you, at 9:15, we start on the bike meetup. You're gonna ride 17.5 miles. One quick note that I maybe, I think I forgot to add to this particular one is what the finish line looks like. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then in less than 10 minutes, get out the door, run 3.5 miles. Okay. The bike, the big rules on run number 1, you cannot stop prior to 8 a.m. Eastern. You can do it indoors or outdoors. If run number 1 is timestamped prior to 8 a.m. Eastern, it'll result in a DQ. The run must be completed before the bike meetup. And run number 1 must start and finish near each other. So they must start and finish within 1/4 mile of one another. Okay. I don't want people going to the top of a hill and running down it. Okay. So they have to start relatively nearby. And then do not include warm-ups and cool downs in your submitted files. Okay. If the run number 1 takes you 15 minutes, but you submit a file, but you did a 7-minute warm-up, and therefore the file is 22 minutes long, you're going to get credit for the 22 minutes, not the 15. Okay, so make sure you start and finish your 1.5 mile run and your 3.5 mile run and save those files only. If you're going to do a warm-up and or a cool down, clear out that file, okay, and start over. All right, bike guidelines. Everybody has received their meetup. Okay, just make sure you connect that you're going. I think just about everybody has. I'm just going to check that really quickly. I think we're in a good spot there. And make sure that, actually, we only have 3 people. Let me just, I don't think anyone on this call has not accepted. That's Scott, right, at the bottom? Is it Scott Selkin? Who's at the bottom? Who's at the bottom screen? Red sweatshirt. Who?
No, that on the bottom is John Spillman, but Scott's
John Spillman.
Oh, John Spillman. Okay.
Yeah, I joined a couple minutes late, sorry.
Nope, you're good. You're good. Oh, Scott up here?
Yep.
Okay.
I just don't have the video going. You don't want to see me.
I know. I've heard. Yeah, so that's perfect. So you guys, everyone on this call is good. Okay. So, and just make sure, I said it numerous times throughout this thing. Just make sure your avatar is on a TT bike. And within the race guide, this video will bring you, so you see here, that will show you how to select a TT bike if you need that. Okay. The bike guidelines, I really recommend that you get on the trainer for a little while. Last week I had some downtime, so I got on the trainer at like 8:45 and just started spinning the legs. Everything was calm and low key. I didn't have any technical issues or anything like that. But I would recommend not getting on before 9:10. I'm sorry, no, don't get on. Don't wait until after 9:10 to get on. That's the message I'm trying to say. Okay, get on early and warm up. You'll be in another world. You'll probably be nowhere near the meetup. Okay, at some point around 9:10, this message will pop up on the screen, meetup starting, and you can click let's go, or there's a little countdown timer there, and it will just bring you there. Okay, and then we'll all be there. I think right now we have 56 people signed up. We'll all be there on our own little virtual trainers spinning, and that's that. We invite you to join on Zoom, and we just kind of, last week we just had, I think we had 8 or 10 of us on Zoom in the Brady Bunch model, and we're just watching each other suffer. You know, you don't have to, but you're welcome to. It'll be there. I'll probably open that up at around 9 a.m. You can continue warming up at the starting line. At 9:15, the race just starts. Your little virtual trainer disappears, and you start riding. Okay. All right. Next. Okay. So the bike will start probably at 9:15. Make sure you're on a TT bike. You must bike do the completed bike course in full, okay? So I have a picture of this somewhere. I will work to get that up. I posted it on Facebook last week in the virtual race series group. But the finish line actually looks like a blue gate across the road, like a waist-high blue gate that you have to ride through. So if the software says that you are at 17.5 miles, but you have not passed through a blue gate, nor has this thing shown up on the screen, see that little stats line that says, 1 hour, 153 watts, that will pop up on the screen when you are done. When you go through the blue gate, that stat line automatically pops up on the screen. That means you're done, okay? Regardless of the distance measured, okay? I've done a couple of these meetups that were supposed to be, 18.4 miles. I hit 18.4 miles, but I didn't finish yet. And then it turned out that the software must have calculated it as 18.6 or whatever. Okay, you must ride the course in full, and you're not done until you see that stat line pop up. Okay, so just like in a real race, even when the course says 17.5 miles, it could be 17.3, it could be 17.6. Okay, so that's the way it goes. So make sure you have that stat line and a picture. If you screw up with your file, I'll just say on the companion app, I'll just pop it up. Oh, I can't do it right now. If you grab a screenshot of that, like that's excellent proof in a worst case scenario. Okay, and if you don't have a file, okay, if you grab a screenshot or a picture of your screen with that stat line, that will do. We actually had somebody do that last week, 2 people. Okay, that's that. Any questions so far? No? Okay, good. All right, here's the bike course. We are doing Watopia's Tempus Fugit. Okay, there's a nice little course description. Here's like a map that I think we start up here. We come in, we do the loop around, out and back. Okay, the course itself is actually, or the loop itself is 10.7 miles, I think. We're gonna be on it for 17.5 miles. Okay, that's the nice feature of the meetup. The meetup functionality is if we wanted to ride 112 miles on this course, which we don't, but if we did, we could, and we would just go back and forth. But the kind of a cool thing about this particular course is that we'll be seeing each other on the out and back. So it's kind of fun. It's pancake flat. So I believe it has about 79 feet of elevation gain over the 17.5 miles. So it's very, very flat. A couple of tiny little bumps here and there, but nothing worth bragging about. Okay. Okay, transition. As soon as you finish the bike, save your ride, get that done. And then you need to be out the door inside of 10 minutes. Okay, that's the deal. That's the end of it. I say I would do spot audits to ensure transitions are being completed in under 10 minutes. Last week, the spot audit was everybody. I had some downtime. So yeah, so this is the formula I use, 9:15 start, plus your bike split, plus 10 minutes, has to be less than the timestamp on your Strava or Garmin Connect file. Run number 2, same general rules as run number 1. It can be indoors or outdoors, and it needs to finish within a quarter mile of where it starts. Okay, same deal on that. Again, do not include warm-ups or cool-downs. Well, there won't be a warm-up, but don't include a cool-down in your file that you send. Okay, and just because you finished does not mean that you are done. Okay, you're not done until you submit the file, submit the submission form. So this is the form that you will receive, okay, in an email, on the website, through Facebook, through the Facebook group. You will receive this form. It is a very simple form. Email, name, your split for run number 1, your split for bike. You answer a simple question. Was your transition less than 10 minutes? Yes or no. Split for run number 2, and then the files, the Strava or Garmin Connect link files for each, the run 1, bike, run 2. Okay, and then one note on transition. transition time does not count unless it's more than 10 minutes, okay? So if you have a transition that's 1 second or a transition that's 9 minutes and 59 seconds, they're the same, okay? They do not count in the scoring. The second that it becomes 10 minutes, it's a DQ, okay? So those transition times do not count. And then here's the thing. Everybody did an excellent job of this except for one person, okay? No names, but make sure that when you submit your times, your splits, it needs to be in hours, minutes, seconds format, okay? So if you run 15 minutes and 43 seconds, that's 00, 15, 43 with the colons in between, okay? If you ride an hour and 5 minutes, it's 01, 05, 00, okay? If you don't do that, you screw me up, all right? So really focus on that. And then make sure you hit submit, okay? And again, you have until 3 p.m. Eastern. Anything after, I close the form at 3 p.m. Eastern, okay? And you won't even be able to submit it. On just for example, these 3 spots, you know, the Strava or Garmin Connect links within the Strava software on your computer. I want this up here, you know, the URL, okay? If from your phone, then I want what this little page with the arrow button gives off, okay? Those are the things. Any questions so far? Okay, I like this crew. All right, we have a page for technical help. If you need it, great. If you don't, great. I'm getting the sense that people are getting a little more comfortable with stuff. Just a reminder on some of the rules. No, the run cannot stop before 8 a.m. Eastern. The bike will start at 9:15. If you're not there, you miss it. It's like a train, okay? The runs must start and finish within a quarter mile of one another. And the bike must be done on a TT bike, must be on a TT bike for your avatar. The human you does not matter, okay? Well, you matter, but the human you, the bike that you're on does not matter, okay? But your avatar must be on a TT bike. During the bike, this is a video game, and I don't know, I can't quite figure out when these power-up things occur and when they don't, but if you end up with any power-ups in Zwift, it's like you get like extra arrow or extra light or stuff, you are free to use them, okay? Those are things that you earn. How you earn them, I don't know, but that's, and then please remember both runs and the bike must be submitted in this hours, minutes, second format, okay? Okay, and then, yeah, only the distances of the legs that you run. Okay, so let's say that here you are, you did the race and you lost your data, okay, for whatever reason. We do have a form. It will come in the email and it'll be on the website. It's the lost data form. Okay, if on race day, after the race, you can't find these forms, just reach out to me. I'll help you locate them. Basically, what you have to do is take a screenshot of your device, okay, take a picture of your device, and you need to have the distance and the time and the time of day on that. I need to see those 3 things for both runs. And or in the Zwift companion app, you can actually go into the activity after the ride and grab a screenshot of the ride that you did, and you'll see that. So if for example you just lost, you can't find the file of the Zwift ride in the companion app, okay, you can go into the activity and grab a screenshot, and here we are. We have distance, time, everything that I would need for that. And here's a quick video right here. This here in the race guide is a video of how to do that if that happens. And so we have a special form which allows for picture and file uploads. Okay, so if you lose your data, not all is lost as long as you can prove out your efforts. Okay. Let's see. And also, if you don't want to upload, it's a little clunky to do file uploads. So if you have a screenshot or a picture of your device face, and you take, I'm not recommending that you do this, but people do what they do. You take that and you post it to Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and that has a link, I'll take that too. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be a file upload, but hopefully we won't have any lost data. Any questions, just ask me, just shoot me an email.
Tim, I have a question. It's Russet. I didn't do this race last week, so when I warm up on the bike in Zwift and then I go to the meetup, I'll stop my watch just because I want it on my Garmin. I want that right on my Garmin, and I want that separate. But Zwift, does that separate out the meetup time from my warm-up time on the bike?
That is a fantastic question. So what happens is you're going to ride. Here you are. You get on at 8:45. You're riding, blah, 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 blah. At 9:10, you say, yeah, I'll go to the meetup. Okay. Your Zwift file, there's going to be a file created that existed from 8:45 to 9:10. That's going to be 25 minutes long. That's going to get sent into outer space. Okay. At 9:15, a new file is going to automatically start in Zwift until you finish the meetup ride. Okay. Well, until you finish the meetup ride and save it. Okay. That's why you need to save quickly. Okay. The time in between, the space between, as our is that Dave Math? Is that, I can't remember. That 9:10 to 9:15, that little piece, that is lost time. That it's like it never existed. Okay, so whatever. But the point is, it really works out very nicely for us because we don't have to worry about starting over anything. As soon as the file that we want is the 9:15 start until you hit save. It's actually a little more precise than that, but I'm just going to say it like that so you save it as quickly as possible. That makes sense, Russet?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? I would love to. Can you still? Oh, I'm not going anywhere. What can you see on my computer? Do you see the PowerPoint presentation still?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm just, bear with me for 1 second. I want to pull up and just make sure everybody understands what the finish line looks like. And I could post this again to the page, but let's do it. He raced last week.
Yeah, that to me was the most confusing thing last week because it was like this blue checkered thing. And then the gate was after that, the end gate.
Right. So hold on, I'm going to share screen again, and then I'm going to bring this up. Okay. So this is what it looks like as you're going to be approaching this blue gate. Okay. And then as soon as you pass through the blue gate, this stat sheet, the stat line appears on the screen. Okay. Then you're done. That's when you're done. At various other points during the race, there may be these blue walls that are like very high. I don't know what those are. Okay. Those are not the finish line. They do not look like the finish line except in color. Okay. But the finish line is checkered. Okay. And it looks just like that. And the finish line will be somewhere around 17.5 miles. So if you pass through a blue wall at mile 9, well, that's not the finish line, right? So, so that's that. Does that make sense? Good.
Hey, Tim, this is Brian. I might add that depending upon where you're located, you might have low latency issues and you won't even see that little blue checkered wall. Like I live in pretty much the middle of nowhere in Oregon and I didn't get that blue checkered wall. All I got was that bottom picture that Tim is showing.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. I thought you lived in Bend.
Yeah, we are. I mean, it is kind of in the middle of nowhere all the way around, and we do have pretty shitty internet services out here.
Still got the dial up.
It's all cable. We're not quite to the fiber optics out here.
So that's a good point. Really, hopefully you get the finish line. Hopefully you live in an area that has technology and you'll get the finish line. But if not, when this thing pops up, that means you're done. Okay, that is the number one. The stat line is the number one thing to tell you you're done. Good. Any questions? All right. Well, thanks, guys, and I hope it works out easily. And last week the only issues we had a couple of issues, and they were just kind of like race day dumb luck kind of issues. We had one girl miss the bike meetup, okay, because she was not a frequent user of Zwift. And when she got on that morning, she got on a little too late, and there were software updates, and they just took too long. So frequent users of Zwift probably will not have those things pop up on them. Me, I got up at 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. I went downstairs into the basement. I turned on Zwift. I just turned it on. So it was there. I wasn't going to use it for a while, but I just turned it on, and it was ready to be used. So we had one girl who had a software issue because she doesn't use it very often, and got on late. We had one girl who didn't run far enough on the second run. She ran 4 miles rather than 4.2. DQ, no cheating. And then that was a mistake though. She just forgot. And then the only other issue we had two other issues. We had one person, he was actually right in front of me on the bike. He had bad internet. His internet dropped out on him, and he just disappeared. He just literally disappeared, like he got sniped. So that's an internet issue. And then the only other issue was one of our athletes, and this is a software bug type thing I'm hearing on meetups. It's rare, but the race started and he did not. He was just stuck on his trainer and he didn't start. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you. Those are the kinds of things that are unfortunately beyond our control. It's definitely frustrating. All of those things are frustrating, but we'll do the best we can. But those were the issues we had last week, and we had very few of them. So, all right, good. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Good day.
It was Dave Matthews as well. Good night.
Night.